I just want to win to get in the playoffs.
Jackson keeps it. Touchdown!
It's an opportunity that, only we can ask for.
He made the defender look silly out in space.
Play your best football in December if you have the opportunity to be in the tournament.
Our mind has got to believe that we're going to be playing more football after this weekend.
Touchdown! I-N-D-Y!
We have the Steelers to win and get in.
Yeah! Hell yeah!
This is obviously a must-win, and we want to have this.
Touchdown! Mitchell Trubisky! Touchdown Bears!
You got to get the job done.
Good coming. They get to him. Oh, he takes off running. And he's in.
If you can't get the job done, then that's on you. That's on no one else.
I'm not going to sit up here and make excuses. Talk is cheap.
Could not get away from Aaron Donald.
We've got one game guaranteed, and we got to see if we can maximize that op that we do have.
Well, good luck, you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome to Game Day View presented by Mercedes-Benz. It is week 17. A ton of playoff implications as you've seen from our beautifully put together music video. We're going to start things off by taking a look at the AFC playoff picture. Let's check it out. So many storylines to pay attention to here. Cynthia, what are you seeing here?
I'm seeing the wild card is going to be really interesting, and who's going to be the odd man out between three teams. One's the underdog we didn't expect. One hasn't been there since Hawk was a baby. And the third we expected to be there, but then kind of fell off in the middle of the season.
Oh, man. Greg, what about you?
I mean, I'm seeing who's going to blow it and help my Colts out. I picked them to win the Super Bowl. We're in a little trouble right now.
Oh, man, that's not fun. At least we're not judging you on the picks here. All right, we're going to start off with the Steelers at the Browns here. The Browns are favored in this game by 9. I'll go right to picks. I'm going with the Browns. The biggest question mark, the determining factor of this game will be how Baker Mayfield performs. Not just in this game, not just in this season, for his tenure as the quarterback. Now, I think Baker Mayfield is the guy in Cleveland. I want to be very clear about that. But he can put a stamp on that for any of the naysayers, anybody who thinks that may not necessarily be the right choice, by winning today, playing well against a division rival to get into the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, Cynthia. What do you got for me?
You're making me laugh, Hawk. I love when you say, like, something that was referencing sort of someone that you could be watching somewhere else. I agree that Baker's the man, but I'm looking at the Steelers' run defense. They've been super thin at the linebacker position. This is before they were resting everyone. And by the way, they are resting everyone, which is why I have 26-18 in this matchup as the final score in favor of the Browns. But realistically, this linebacking core needs to stop the run a little bit better. They've been really porous lately, over 126 yards per game. The pass for not good. Nick Chubb's going to run all over them. I'm curious to see how this will look in the playoffs going forward. Greg?
What a fitting way for this season to end, that this is one of the biggest games. I have the Browns winning by a touchdown in this game because they got good news earlier this week when they found out Mason Rudolph will be starting at quarterback for the Steelers. Okay, that's good news. Even better that TJ Watt and Marquise Pouncey and Cam Hayward, maybe Stephon Tuitt, they're all going to sit too. Terrific. But oh, by the way, the Browns have 6 guys out because they're on the COVID list too. It's crazy that in this season, 6 guys being out for the Browns because of COVID isn't even that big of a story because there's some of their lesser known players. They're in the secondary, but that's a lot to overcome too. They have the receivers back. Man, I really hope they can get it done. What a weird setup. Cynthia, make it proper for me.
Woohoo! We remembered. All right, first and foremost, it is Baker Mayfield is going to have more than 230 passing yards. You said it exactly right. They're missing a bunch of pieces on that defense. They may not be the most household names, but still, if you're having the opportunity to pass against all of these players, they're going to. And they got their wide receivers back, which is what they need. And then I told you about Nick Chubb having a big game. Well, 80 rushing yards seems quite low for me. So I think more than 80 rushing yards is going to be all but a foregone conclusion in this situation because they need Baker Mayfield to stay efficient. Nick Chubb is the way to do it. This is a run-first team, the best running back duo, the best running back backfield in the National Football League. What's next?
All right, let's get to the Dolphins and the Bills. The Bills are favored by 2 in this game. That's changed all week, and I've got the Dolphins winning by 6. Now, I'm joined in this show by 2 people who I know are really smart, who I bet are really good test takers, even better than me. But maybe we were all like okay students, but even better test takers. Sometimes you don't know the answer to the question, but you got to base it on context clues. You got to think about what's the most likely answer. The most likely answer is the Bills don't really care about this game, and they're going to sit, and you're going to see this great Dolphins defense and Xavier Howard going up against Matt Barkley. Sean McDermott's not telling us, but we know the 2 seed doesn't really matter. And even if it did, they're going to have it unless the Steelers win because they know the Steelers are sitting. It's more important for them to get healthy into Week 17. So based on all that information, I think the educated guess is the Bills don't really care and they're going to lose this game, Cynthia. But I'm happy if you stick picking them.
We're on the other side of this one. I have 27-22. Why? Because I actually think the Bills aren't trying to lose this. I think, they've been playing it like really close to the vest, like really keeping it in. And ultimately, we don't know anything about whether or not they're going to play. Every beat writer is saying something different. The one I trust most says that the Bills are trying to win to secure that number 2 seed. So when I look at this one, I think Tua's short passing. Tua, that's going to be kind of the linchpin in this. However, if they are resting people, I would have been on the other side. But there are rules to how I pick this. Hawk, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm with you, Cynthia. And Greg, those are really good points, which is why I don't feel great about my pick. But I am going with the Bills for the same reasons. There's a lot of the Bills players are playing. They understand the implications here, even for the Dolphins. But the other thing is, and as much as I love B-Flow, and he's done an incredible job, and I know his players will be there to play, my question is Tua. Like, is he going to build super confident? I mean, we've seen all the kind of back and forth. He's been benched. He's been playing. He's the guy. He's not. Well, now he's in a situation where they need it, and they need him to feel like the guy, feel confident. That'll be my biggest question mark watching this game. All right, what do we got next? Oh, before we go to the NFC, we got the Ravens and Bengals. I'm going to assume everyone's with the Ravens here, Cynthia.
Yeah, I have the Ravens big. I have 30-16 in this matchup. My biggest Bengals note is my favorite Bengals coach. I think he's going to be a coach somewhere else. So that's my forecast on this one. Ooh. Marvin Lewis. Where are you going to go? Hopefully it's Honolulu Blue.
Wow, the biggest Marvin Lewis fan on the block. Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to win. One reason to get that 2 seed, by the way, Hawk, is you can avoid the Ravens in the first round of the playoffs. So that is one reason to get the 2 seed.
Very true, very true. I got to be a strong second for the second biggest Marvin Lewis fan. He gave me a job. All right, checking out the NFC playoff picture here, Cynthia. What are we looking at?
The interesting part about this, the Cardinals and the Rams playing each other, I mean, those shuffling teams, Rams, Bears, Cardinals, that could be like just such a huge difference maker. And of course, the NFC East, all 3 teams, that's just so funny to me because you think of that like so differently than you think of maybe the NFC West where the 3 teams in, you're like, yeah, all of them have a legit chance.
All right. What about you, Greg?
I mean, I'm looking to see if the Bucks can get that 5. Last time the Bucks were in the playoffs, I bought this T-shirt in Japan watching the Red Sox opening day, like 2007. That's how old this thing is.
Well, you got it on now. Maybe it's a good time to throw it away. Just kidding. All right, Washington at the Eagles. Washington is favored in this one by 4. That has changed in and out all week, and I'm picking the Eagles. I don't feel great about it. I don't. Alex Smith is playing. So the Washington football team will be at their best, but I just still feel like this is a trap game that the Eagles can go in here. Jalen Hurts can really silence some haters and put a stamp at the end of the season, which has a domino effect, obviously, to the playoff implications. But I'm sticking with the Eagles, Cynthia.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Washington. The Alex Smith news is good. The Terry McLaurin news is good. The Antonio Gibson news is good. Those are all factors for me in determining how to target this Eagles team where, let's look for who's playing. That's almost a shorter list than who's not playing, right? They have a bunch of people out, and we don't exactly know, but a guy like Fletcher Cox makes a huge difference, like figuratively, literally, all of the ways that huge means. That's a big one for me. So ultimately, I have Washington securing it, making it to the playoffs. Ron Rivera, Alex Smith, just great stories all season long. What do you have, Greg?
Yeah, it's a good way for this NFC East to end. Watching Alex Smith go ahead and win the division. I have them winning 23-16. When we look back at week 1 in this matchup, it's where Washington established who they were going to be. Their defense is the one playoff-worthy group in the entire division. It's been a really good defense all year, front to back, and they're playing an Eagles team that's without Deshaun Jackson and Jordan Mailata, their left tackle, and Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders. So the Eagles were banged up already on defense. You mentioned Fletcher Cox. They're banged up on offense. I just do not like their chances. I think Alex Smith gets it done. That would be bad news for the Cowboys, though. Let's go to our next game, the Cowboys and the Giants. Oh, I almost forgot. What a great way to finish the season is forgetting proper performances one more time.
I love it. Okay, so let's look at Alex Smith. We're talking about this. 256 passing yards. Now, this seems like a pretty low number with Terry McLaurin being back, but I don't think this is going to be a game where there's a ton of passing. I think there's going to be a lot more running. So 256 is a little too rich for my blood. It's going to be like Logan Thomas, Terry McLaurin. But yes, I do think he's going to have a nice, solid game. I just don't think it's going to be like a ridiculously high passing game. Okay, we got one more for you. You ready for this one? Oh... Jalen Hurts, more than 240 passing yards. He's going to have to pass. The game script is going to be such that they're playing from behind. Jalen Hurts, we think of him rushing. We think of his ability on the ground. But you know what? That is going to be an air situation in this game. Okay, what do we have next?
Well, now we've got that Cowboys-Giants game, the Cowboys by 1.5. You know what, Cowboys and Giants fan? If you win early, you deserve to have to wait all day and then watch your playoff hopes end on Sunday night. That's what you've put us through this year. I think it's the Giants who'll be waiting. I have them winning 23-22. Not totally logical here, but I just remember how the Cowboys used to blow it in week 17 all the time. And I think the Giants are made of tougher stuff than the Cowboys team. The Cowboys always blow it whenever you think they're going to get it done. Daniel Jones, I think, has been a little bit better the last few weeks, coming off the injury, a little healthier each week. And when I heard Jerry Jones said he was dancing in his house because they still have a chance to make the playoffs this week, I thought, game over. Cowboys are losing. Cynthia, what do you think?
I like the narrative. My math has the opposite. I have Jerry Jones dancing some more, maybe on a yacht this time, 24-22 in this matchup. It really comes down to the fact that the Giants O-line has allowed the most pressures in the National Football League. Daniel Jones has been just under duress on almost 42% of dropbacks. And if you look to see where the Cowboys defense has gotten better, I mean, this is not like the best defense we're talking about, but they have had an uptick in pressure in recent weeks. They actually got all the way up to 9th highest in pressures over the past 4 weeks. So that's an interesting note for me, and that makes the difference. I think Cowboys by a little bit, but I'd be lying if I said I felt great about it. Greg?
I love it. I love Greg talking about, hey, we're the same, Cynthia. Don't worry about it. We get mistaken for each other all the time. We're basically twins. All right, so look.
Triplets.
I love Greg.
Triplets,
you're right. So, Greg, you're right. The Cowboys do usually have Week 17 letdowns, but that's because they didn't have my boy Andy Dalton. Ooh. And yes, there's bias here. I have no problem. I'm not backing off of that. The guy has been balling. Last week he put up monster numbers against the Eagles after everyone trolled me on the internet when the first time it didn't go so well. So I think he comes out this week. He has a big game to put the Cowboys in position to be in the playoffs. And he has a $1 million incentive that if he wins this game and they're in the playoffs, he gets to put that money in his bank account.
Ooh.
Would you do it for $1 million, Greg? I think you would. Let's head to break, and we'll have some more $1 million game day view when we get back. But first, let's check out Nick Chubb here, warming up. He's going to be the key to the Browns getting in the playoffs.
He looks like that wasn't a very good stretch.
Yeah, he's like, I'm getting ready
Hold
for 40 carries
Come on, hold
today.
it. That's youth. If I did that, I'd still pull a hamstring.
Back on Game Day View, it's time for Drive to Excellence, presented by Mercedes-Benz. It's Week 17, and Cynthia is on the verge of the regular season crown, with Hawk in second. Greg, we appreciate the effort, but let's have a talk on Monday morning at 8 a.m. That was Drive to Excellence, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Do I get one of these yet?
We're still all working on our Benzes, Ricky. Don't worry about it. It's in the mail. All right, Cardinals at Rams. Cardinals are favored in this one by 3. I'm going with the Rams. The matchup I'm looking for is DeAndre Hopkins versus Jalen Ramsey. Last time they played, Ramsey held DeAndre in check, which was a big reason why they walked away with the victory. I feel like with so many implications for the playoffs here, we're going to get the defense of the Rams at their very best. That includes Aaron Donald and obviously Jalen Ramsey. And that's why I'm giving them the edge, Cynthia.
You know, I actually have the opposite in this one. I have the Cardinals 21, the Rams 17. If you look to see over the past 4 weeks, the team that has generated the most sacks on opposing quarterbacks, the Cardinals. Kind of surprising. I thought so too. With 18. Yeah. And they have John Walford from the AAF. He is under center. That's going to be interesting. We did see Walford have some success on deep passes, and he is relatively mobile in terms of quarterbacks. Fun fact here, if you look at Wake Forest starting quarterbacks, we all thought, you know, that happened in Denver, but technically the first snap of the game, there was no quarterback. It was a direct snap to your running back. So he will be the first one to start. Fun fact. Now you know some NFL record book because I'm not just going to keep pooping on the AAF, even though I'd like to.
Wow.
Greg, what's next? Or what do you have?
I mean, you're also, digging on Wake Forest. Tim Duncan's alma mater. John Walford's going to do them proud today. I think the Rams are going to the playoffs with a 21-17 win, and it's because of their defense. I think they're the best defense in the league. Over the second half of the season, I'd take them over the Steelers, and they're going up against a Cardinals offense and Kyler Murray, who to me has been very disappointing. They'll have some up games, but there's more slumps, and they really go into long stretches where they cannot move the ball. And my daughter got a number 9 jersey for the Rams for Christmas from her godfather. Who's number 9? It's John Walford. She's number 9 because it's her age, but it's like it's all coming together. The Walford jersey at my house. They're going to win this game. And maybe they won't even need to because the Packers are playing the Bears. And if the Bears lose this game, the Rams are in the playoffs either way. The Packers are favored by 5 points in this game. It's changed throughout the week because David Bakhtiari, their left tackle, is out, and that's great news for Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. You got paid all that money. You gave up all those draft picks for Khalil Mack. He's had a good year. I don't think you could say he's had a great year. I don't know if he's been one of the top 5 pass rushers in the league. A lot of pressure, not finishing as many plays as we're used to. So this is the week he's got to go out there, get after Aaron Rodgers, and get the Bears into the playoffs because I don't trust Mitchell Trubisky to do it on his own. What about you, Cynthia?
So as this line has moved all over the place, all you need to know is that I think the Packers are going to do better than whatever is forecasted, if you know what I'm saying. The interesting part in this one, I heard an interview with Aaron Rodgers, and he said that it does matter to him to win his 3rd MVP. So I think not only will he be inspired, but so too will his defense. And Jair Alexander, who we are going to talk about because it matters that he's awesome and that he is a very, very good corner, like 3rd best per my metrics in the National Football League. He will help shut down the Bears passing game. Allen Robinson. Yes, we've seen good Mitchell Trubisky, but I don't think this is going to be a situation where in this game, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to go inspire. I mean, maybe he'll even play defense. You never know, right?
Whatever he has to do to get the MVP, A-Rod is going to do. I'm with you, Cynthia. I'm going with the Packers as well. And I also have to say, I'm actually making a game day trade here. I'm changing my Rams pick to Cardinals. So people on the back end are producers. What? I need everyone to know that I'm going on the record. I was going to text after the show, but then people would say you changed it, so I'm saying it on camera.
You're playing for third. So you're playing for 2nd place now because you're trying to just box me out. Come on, give me a break.
I don't think they're going to win, and I would be PO'd at myself if I didn't do that, and you ended up passing me this week.
Okay,
so I'm going with the Cardinals.
Pride.
I'm going with the Packers.
Pride, Greg.
It's about pride. All right, Seahawks at 49ers are next. Seahawks are favored in this one by 6.5. Going with the Seahawks, I think we have a big game out of Russell Wilson, him trying to end the season on a high note and get ready for the playoffs. DK Metcalf, again, is staring down the barrel of a Steve Largent single-season receiving yardage record that I know he's going to be motivated to get. So I expect the Seahawks team to play lights out. Cynthia, what do you got?
I have 28-21 Seahawks. I'm interested to watch the Seahawks defense in this one because the addition of Carlos Dunlap and Jamal Adams being healthier because he was injured for much of the middle of the season, I think that changes their ability to generate pressure. And generating pressure against this Niners offense, especially with how often they run, so on those rare, or not rare, but fewer passing downs than other teams, I do want to see what they're able to do because that will be a huge indicator for the playoffs of just how far they can go. So I'm looking at you, Carlos Dunlap. I want to see what you can do.
I have the Seahawks winning this game 33-14. I think Pete Carroll's telling the truth when he says we're playing to win. They still have that chance for the number 1 seed. They would need the Packers to lose. But go ahead, go for it. And their defense, you mentioned, Cynthia, it's been getting contributions from all sorts of people. DJ Reed, this cornerback, has come out of nowhere. Used to be on the 49ers. Jordan Brooks, the rookie first-round linebacker, has been making some plays. I wouldn't be shocked if we see my boy Geno Smith in this game, who's trying to go to the divisional round, by the way, for the 3rd straight year. I think it's going to be that big of a blowout. Trent Williams is out for San Francisco. So is Brandon Ayuk. So a lot of people hurt for San Francisco. Next up, the Saints and the Panthers. So since we last taped, we learned that Alvin Kamara is out and the rest of the running back room is out for the Saints. And so they are only favored by 6 in this game. I think they're going to get it done anyways. If you're going to have one position group lost, I think running back's probably the one to lose, and you can still survive. They'll be able to dominate on both sides of the line, and the Panthers are really banged up as well. So Drew Brees, get him a little bit protected. And his weak arm right now compared to where he was earlier in his career, you can still dial up plays against this Panthers zone defense. They really dominated them the first time they played. Do you agree with me, Cynthia?
I sure do. I have a similar score to you. I have 29-21. I have an 8-point win in this one. Ty Montgomery's playing. So if for some reason you're still playing fantasy, like season long, then you need to go get Ty Montgomery and put him in, because if you're missing all those running backs, you need someone. But I don't know in this game if it's really going to matter. I think that O-line will keep everything kind of nice and steady. The opportunity for Taysom Hill to take some run. Like they have enough different options. One area I am tracking for the playoffs, though, is Emmanuel Sanders and his ability to really navigate this passing game without Michael Thomas. With Michael Thomas out of the lineup and presumably back in for the playoffs, they need to make sure that they have like a lot of stability around what's going on in the passing game. So Emmanuel Sanders, the veteran who's been really good, really shows up. I mean, he was on that 49ers team last year. This is a situation for him to really shine again.
Yeah, I love that. I'm sitting here, I'm rubbing my hands because my wheels are turning now. I'm changing another pick. I have the Saints. My graphic is going to say Saints. I'm going Panthers. I just feel it in my gut. It's week 17. The producers are like, what the heck is Hawk doing? He's ruining himself. I'm going with the Panthers. Put it on the record. No Michael Thomas, no Alvin Kamara, no running back, period. I mean, Taysom Hill is going to be their leading rusher, and that scares me. Teddy Bridgewater gets it done at home. Next up, we got the Titans
look at that
and
graphic.
the Texans.
Yeah.
Great last-minute graphic work there. Love that.
At the buzzer. Shout out to the graphic team. Christy, you're killing it. All right, Texans at Titans here. Titans are favored in this one by 7.5. My gut wants to tell me to change my pick here, too, because now Greg has motivated me to go for the win.
Do it.
But I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with the Titans here. I'm going to stick with the Titans. Big Derrick Henry week. He rushed for 7,000 yards against them the first time they played. I don't think he quite rushes for that much, but I think he definitely gets over the 100-yard mark. Cynthia, what do you got?
I have 30-23 in this one. And when I look to see something interesting about the Titans, just so you know, I told you the 18 sacks for the Cardinals. The Titans are actually the fewest over the past 4 weeks, with only 1 sack on an opposing quarterback. So you're really going to want to play Deshaun Watson in this one. But an interesting part here is I want to be watching A.J. Brown. I want to see what he does in a game where you'd think that the game script will say run, run, run. I want to watch A.J. Brown because this is really important going to the playoffs. The Titans are not the Titans of last season. They have a different flow going on. So A.J. Brown, maybe even a Corey Davis situation could be more impactful in this one.
Yeah, their flow is all about scoring points. So I have them getting a 40 burger for the 5th time this year and the 2nd time against the Texans, 44-30. I love this offense. They know what they need to do to get to the playoffs. They're not going to get to week 17 and suddenly, just start panicking like Hawk is and changing picks and like blowing it right at the end and missing the playoffs or falling into last like in Hawk's case. They're going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to this game. They're going to win easily. And that would leave the Colts in some trouble. The Jaguars and the Colts are the last game we'll talk about here in the AFC South. The Colts are favored by 2 touchdowns. I have the Colts winning by 13. That's a little bit of a nod to the Jaguars dominating this matchup since Frank Reich has arrived in Indianapolis, including in week 1. So maybe the Jaguars just find a way to keep it close relatively, but the Colts are going to need some help in front of them to get into the playoffs. Not sure that's going to happen. If our picks are right, Cynthia and Hawk, the Colts are going to get left out of the playoffs.
Well, yeah, if they are right, they are. But I do have the Colts winning this one 32-17. So as far as you and I are concerned on this pick, you think it's going to be relatively close at 13, and I think it's not going to be relatively close at 15, just so we're all clear. The interesting part here is I do still think for fantasy purposes, Dario Ogunbowale could be a good pick. Daily fantasy could be a good area to target this guy because they're going to need to use him. Volume will matter in this one. I'm going to be interested to see. There's reports that Doug Marrone will not be the Jaguars head coach next season. So I'm curious to see, do they go out and just have so much fun and finish this game and keep it a little bit closer? My math says no, but the interesting part is that could very well happen. What do you have, Hawk?
Shocker, math says no fun. That's exactly what I thought when I was in grade school in my entire life. I'm going with the Colts, too. The Colts are just a better football team all around. They have something to fight for. The Jaguars don't. You could even argue that it puts them in a better position. The good thing is Justin Fields looked really good this week. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is a beast. So regardless, I feel like the Jaguars are in a good place. It doesn't matter what happens. You're getting a quarterback. All right, let's take a look at some of the other games of Week 17. Anything sticking out to you here, Cynthia? Looks like we're pretty aligned here. Oh, no, we're not aligned.
Wow.
I'm on Jets Island all by myself. You know why? Because there's usually 5 upsets. There's been 5 upsets in Week 17, like over the past. It's an average of 5 upsets over the past 10 seasons. You got to pick at least one. There we go. Jets, you guys are either going up a game on me or I'm going up another one on you.
Just riding with Adam Gase to the end. You have been just a loyal soldier for him, Cynthia.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
All right. Let's take a little break here, shall we?
Who's this? Oh.
Josh Allen?
That's playing, Greg.
It's a white player on the Giants. Maybe it's Daniel Jones. I don't think he would dance like that.
No, that's too much rhythm. That's Josh Allen. It's got to be.
All right, we are looking at Cleveland's favorite quarterback. Their great hope to get them into the playoffs, Mason Rudolph. You know that long list of Browns quarterbacks they used to show for starting? Who knew it would be Mason Rudolph that can deliver them to the playoffs finally? Cynthia.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's get to our favorite
foam
section,
fingers. Get your foam fingers. Here is more or less. Wait, ready? Do you have your fingers, guys? Yes? Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw something come over the wire. Carson Wentz is inactive today. That's where we'll start. Washington at the Eagles, more or less than 44 points. No Carson Wentz. More or less.
So Nate Sudfeld's going to be coming in off the bench here. Either way, this is a defensive game. No one's healthy here. It is I love Alex Smith, but I don't think he's going to light up the scoreboard. They can win a low-scoring game.
What did I tell you? I told you he's not even going to pass for 256 yards. Hawk, do you agree?
I'm going more. I think Alex Smith does have more points than we suspect. And I also think Jalen Hurts has a better day than people suspect against this this defense.
All right, next game. This is how we're doing it because it's Dolphins that swim kind of like this at Bills, and it's more or less than 42 points in this one. More or less, Dolphins at Bills, 42 points. 42. Hello. More.
This is a tricky one because you don't know who's playing, but either way, that is a low number there. I think they can figure it out.
I have 49 points. Yes, it's a low number.
Okay.
Hawk, what do you have?
Yeah, I think it's too low. If Josh Allen is in, the guy lights up scoreboards. It's what he does, Cynthia. He's like Cynthia's finest. He lights up scoreboards.
I think the Titans. How does that? What should I do for the Titans at Texans? Titans at Texans. No idea what that was about. All right, more or less than 56 points. That is a lot of points. I know G-Rag likes a lot of points in this one. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have?
Hawk, you don't get to like come into first place by disagreeing in more or less. I don't know what you're doing here. It's just chaos.
It's chaos. It's week 17. Things are wacky. I'm going less. I think the Titans offense struggles. I think they struggle as a team, and I'm actually changing my pick right now. I'm going with the Texans. Make the note. All right? Week 17. Go for the gusto.
Boom. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. Last but not least, Chargers at Chiefs in potentially the game that will determine Anthony Lynn's fate as the Chargers coach.
Ooh.
More or less than 42 points. 42 points. Who's playing for the Chiefs? Not a lot of normal people. More or less. More or less.
Yo, backups can score points too. There's backups on defense too. I don't know why that means way less points. This has been one of my favorite shows. Watching Hawk just give away second place to me has really been enjoyable.
All right, well, that's good.
What a Sunday pleasantry. All right, Hawk just ruined his media career. All right, that does it for us on Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. That does it for the regular season. Appreciate our sponsors, Mercedes-Benz, as always. We will see you guys next week in the playoffs. Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, NFL Network. Enjoy the games today.